Meghan Markle is trending again. Surprise, surprise. But this time, it's not because of some glitzy project or a crowd-pleasing moment that won over the press. Nope, it's a full-on mess. It all started with an Instagram video Meghan clearly thought would be her comeback moment. A look at me, I'm thriving vibe. Instead, it totally imploded. She framed it as this lighthearted, empowering snapshot of motherhood. Something to show she still had humor, charm, or relatable edge. But what actually landed was awkward, really awkward. Offbeat dancing, try-hard energy, and a mysterious baby bump that sparked more confusion than applause. People weren't laughing, they were whispering, "What is even happening here?" And then the blowback hit. "These two sold their souls and threw Harry's family under the bus," snapped one furious voice. "It's unforgivable and millions feel betrayed." But it didn't stop there. One of her assistants was crying regularly from her bullying. "If Meghan doesn't think so, she can sue me. I've said it."
These two have sold their souls and they've sold Harry's family down the river. It's unforgivable and it will leave a bitter taste in the mouths of millions of people. So we can hear from those PAs, who I know at least one of them was regularly reduced to tears by the bullying from Meghan Markle. And if Meghan doesn't think she did bully, she can sue me, because I've said it.
This wasn't just internet trolls chiming in. Industry execs started panicking. Netflix, where Meghan had a docuseries deal, found itself caught in a PR storm. CEO Greg Peters reportedly wasn't having it. Even Ted Sarandos, usually her quiet supporter, began second-guessing everything. Backing a celebrity during controversy is one thing. Becoming the laughingstock of social media? That's another. But buckle up, because this spiral's just beginning. Netflix wasn't the only one running for cover. Over at Paramount, they didn't hesitate. They cut ties with Meghan entirely. Clean break. Other studios? Quietly ghosting her. No calls, no meetings. Just a slow, steady retreat. Like they didn't want the Markle chaos anywhere near their brand. It was as if the industry finally woke up and realized, whatever sparkle Meghan had when she first burst onto the scene, it's gone. That video didn't revive her image, and it confirmed the rumors, the whispers, that Meghan Markle is no longer a media asset. She's a PR liability and fast becoming radioactive. But listen to this. Instead of laying low, Meghan doubled down. Yep. Right in the middle of the storm, she dropped a statement. A full-blown explanation of her intentions. She said the video was about proving herself, about shutting up critics who doubted her as a mom, that she wanted the world to know she still had fun, still had something to say, still deserved to be heard. But saying it louder doesn't make it land better.
The universal human condition, out of all of my friends who have become mothers, I can't think of a single one who has said, "Oh wow, it's exactly what I expected. I'm nailing it. It's so good. I know exactly what I'm doing. And this child has fitted seamlessly into my pre-existing life, which has required no changes at all."
Thing is, just because someone says something with confidence doesn't mean the world's buying it. What people saw wasn't empowering. It felt forced. Like Meghan was desperately trying to be quirky, deep, and inspirational all at once. And instead of connecting with her audience, she turned them off. Even longtime fans were left blinking at the screen like, wait, this is what we've been defending? The fallout was fast. Test screenings for With Love, Meghan Season 2 reportedly tanked. Viewers didn't just dislike it, they couldn't finish it. Some called it flat out unwatchable. Netflix executives were rattled. Even Meghan's core fanbase? Losing interest. Meghan still believes she's here to inspire the world. But the world doesn't seem interested anymore. Like the universal human condition, out of all of my friends who have become mothers. She tried to pivot the backlash into some noble message. A call for fun, joyful parenting in a world full of burnout. And maybe that was the plan. But instead of resonating, it came off as self-involved. Out of touch. Tone-deaf even. And speaking of interviews that aged poorly, what Meghan doesn't seem to grasp is this. People aren't asking for motivational speeches. They don't want vague monologues wrapped in glossy Instagram filters, especially not from someone living in a multi-million-dollar estate with staff, nannies, PR consultants, pretending she's just another overwhelmed mom winging it in the chaos of real life. And it's not just average viewers pulling away. Inside Netflix, it's pure panic. Greg Peters is allegedly furious. He's been pushing hard behind closed doors to sever ties completely. But there's a problem. Ted Sarandos. He's always been Meghan's quiet defender, and for reasons no one seems to fully understand, he's still trying to keep her in the picture. That said, even Ted is reportedly starting to buckle under the pressure. The board's split. Some want season 2 scrapped altogether. Others want to ride it out and pray the internet suddenly forgives her. But if you thought that clip was cringe-inducing, while Netflix stalls, Meghan's already making her next move. Word is she's been shopping herself around, pitching new ideas to both MTV and Disney, hoping someone will bite. A year ago? Maybe. But now, after this mess? Executives are reportedly dodging her like she's radioactive. No one wants to be the next studio caught in a Markle media disaster. She went from being a trending name to a walking liability. Her brand, no longer a cause, but it's a gamble. And Hollywood hates risk. Meanwhile, even her loyal fans are jumping ship. People who used to repost her interviews, defend her online, flood her comments with heart emojis. They're deleting those posts and going silent. And when your own supporters start ghosting you, that's a PR death sentence no team can fix. But it gets crazier. Even Meghan's social media is turning against her. The same comment sections that used to gush over her now look completely different. Gone are the Yas Queen and heart emoji floods. In their place, a wave of people calling her out for being fake, preachy, or just wildly out of touch. But the wildest speculation all centered around that baby bump. People couldn't stop pointing out how weird it looked. The shape seemed to change. The positioning was off. Conspiracy theories spread like wildfire. Was it real? Was it a prop? Was it all part of some bizarre PR stunt? Instead of softening her image, the whole thing made people uncomfortable. Suspicious. Because once the public starts doubting your honesty, the damage doesn't just stick, it spreads. And speaking of bad questions, why is she still pushing forward? Through all the noise, Meghan keeps insisting this is her truth, that this is how she expresses herself, that she won't be silenced by critics. But here's the thing, no one's trying to silence her. They're just tuning her out. There's a big difference between being censored and being ignored. And right now, the world is loudly choosing the latter. But instead of reading the room, Meghan went even harder. She recorded a podcast-style monologue. No interviewer, no structure, just Meghan talking into a mic. For almost an hour. And somewhere in the middle, she started referring to herself in the third person. The world hasn't seen the real Meghan yet, she said. And that's when the narcissism alarm bells really started ringing. Instead of reflecting on the backlash with any humility, she dug in deeper. She framed herself as a teacher, someone with a mission to educate other parents, as if moms juggling bills, public schools, and 3 jobs want advice from a woman living in a mansion with a full-time nanny staff. But listen to this. What's making all of this even messier is what's happening behind closed doors at Netflix. Meghan's reportedly pressuring Ted Sarandos to greenlight a 3rd season of With Love, Meghan, even though the 2nd hasn't aired yet and is already in crisis mode. She's using every bit of leverage she's got to keep the project alive. What kind of leverage? Nobody knows for sure. But the whispers are loud. Some even suggest there's more than just a professional bond between her and Ted. Nothing confirmed. But the rumors are flying. Meanwhile, Greg Peters is over it. He's allegedly rallying the board to pull the plug altogether. From a business angle, it's a no-brainer. Test screenings for Season 2 were a disaster. Words like hollow, self-indulgent, and tone-deaf were thrown around by viewers. Even her most loyal supporters weren't impressed. And for a platform like Netflix, pouring money into a project that can't hold its own audience? That's a red flag waving in 4K, and outside the boardrooms, it's no better. Meghan's public image is cracking, badly. Late-night shows are turning her into a punchline. The same outlets that used to defend her at every turn are quietly backing away. And when the people who once protected your story start treating you like a running joke, that's not a comeback, that's a collapse. What's wild is she doesn't seem to see it. Meghan still talks like she's in the middle of some redemption arc. Like this is all temporary backlash, and eventually the tide will turn in her favor. But the more she talks, the more damage she does. There's no wave of sympathy coming, no cinematic turnaround moment. What we're watching now is the slow unraveling of someone who refuses to read the room. Season 2 of With Love, Meghan is creeping toward release. No promo, no buzz, no energy. Just Netflix nervously holding its breath, hoping the backlash doesn't explode. And Meghan? She's still out there pitching, posting, and preaching louder than ever. But the reality? It's starting to look like she's shouting into a void. And the most brutal part? No one's echoing back.